Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Good morning.
Morning. Happy Saturday.
Thank you, son.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, buenos días. Morning.
Morning. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
I'm glad to be back.
Ah, yes. It's good to see you. Glad to have you back. Yes. Glad to see that smile. Glad to see you back.
How's everybody been?
Oh man, wonderful. Everything,
Good.
everything is good.
Wonderful.
Yep. You had a good time out there?
I did.
Yeah.
I had an amazing time.
Ah, that's wonderful. I know you were looking
Yeah.
forward.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite place ever. I love it so much.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah,
that is wonderful. Wonderful.
it's really good.
Oh, that's cool. Oh man, that's good. Wonderful. All right, perfect. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so we getting this started. Well, 7 o'clock where I am. So happy Saturday, everyone. Good to see everyone. Happy Saturday. All right, we're gonna get started with let's say. Uh I guess we'll get started with the story. We'll get started with the story this morning. So please pull up the story. Yes, it is wonderful. So if you would like to read, just put your hand up, let us know. I'll start it off so everybody can get their mind right and let us know if you want to read. All right. So this case is especially interesting because of the short interval of time between the application of this law of assumption and its visible manifestation. Well, always keep in mind this is a law. What we're talking about is a law. We're not talking about something that may work or may not work. We're not talking about something to make you feel good. We're not talking about something to give you hope. We're not talking about risking it. We're talking about learning and understanding how a law works, like gravity, like sowing and reaping, like thermodynamics, like any other law, right? All right. So, and this law they call it assumption. So, a very prominent woman came to me in deep concern. She maintained a lovely city apartment and a large country home. But because the many demands made upon her were greater than her modest income, it was absolutely essential that she rent her apartment if she and her family were to spend the summer at their country home. In previous years, the apartment had been rented without difficulty early in the spring. But the day she came to me, the rental season for summer sublets was over. The apartment had been in the hands of the best real estate agents for months, but no one had been interested even in coming to see it. So every time we read these stories, I really want you to think about what's going on. I want you to think about the context. I want you to think about, what it looks like, what the circumstances, quote unquote, look like when the story is first starting, how the circumstances seem to change or remain the same in the middle, so to speak, how things are going as they're going along and how they end. Because these stories are such wonderful opportunities to see ourselves, right? Stories may be different, but how we feel are all the same. When we're coming with a challenge, so to speak, or a problem or an issue, we all feel the same, right? We all are like, what is going on here? Why is this happening? Or whatever else it may be. So she did what people say. She took action. What did it say? The apartment had been in the hands of the best real estate agents for months, but no one had even been interested in coming to see it. So you so called did your part. You did what you were supposed to do, and yet still have nothing, right? So when she described her predicament, I explained how the law. So when the apartment, when you're supposed to do something, right? Like to get your thing rented out, and you put the apartment in the hand of the best real estate agents, what would you what would you call that? What would that be called?
Outsourcing?
Outsourcing, okay? But think about it in what I'm asking you that question because it's the answer is juxtaposed to what we've been reading, to what we're talking about. What are we talking about? Okay, trust. What trust in what? Right? That's one of the questions, like trust in what? There's one thing happening versus another. So she did one thing, but she's coming for another thing because the thing she did is not working. So what is she doing? What is an example of what she's doing? That's an example of what? Following a
Faith?
faith, belief. Okay. So what she's doing is a rule. It's a rule. They tell you, oh, if you want to get your house rented, get some real estate agents. She got the best ones, and no one even came to see it. So she has the best real estate agents, and she can't even get anybody to see it. So she's already done what humanity tells you to do to get it done, and that's not working. So then, what happens at that point to people? What starts happening to a person at that point? What happens when you've done everything they told you to do?
You start doubting.
Right? Yeah, like go through it. What happens?
Oh, maybe it's not going to sell. Maybe I shouldn't sell. Nothing ever works out for me, all kind of stuff.
Everything. Like Sparkle Bailey said, panic, everything you're saying, right? Stress, worry, anxiety, all the famous words, right? All the famous emotions that people go through because these are rules. But he keeps calling it a what?
Law.
A law. A law. There's a difference between a rule and a law. Today, you are going to be hammered with the difference between the two, right? Because you have to know that there is a difference. They are not synonymous. They're not just different uses of words or different words. No, they are different, fundamentally different, right? One may work, may or not. One you think is luck. One you think is, but there's no guarantee. So that's why you start to panic because you don't know that it's going to work. You hope it does, but you don't know because it's a rule. But the person she's coming to get help is explaining it as a law, is explaining it as an absolute, as a guarantee. That's why she's coming to this person now. Because when you're operating with a rule, that's not guaranteed. That's not absolute. That's not for sure. And when you put your house on the market and you need something to happen and you're dealing with a rule, then good luck. Because who knows? And that is correct. Rules are man-made. The law is universal. The law is I am. The law is the universe. It is universal. It's absolute. Absolute. And that's why you always have to understand the difference between the two and then understand which one you're operating. With, by, from, in, where your faith is, where your belief is. It's in one or the other. Can't be in both because they're not the same thing. Right? So they're saying so now she's coming to him with looking for a law. She's looking now for a guarantee. And so he's explaining how the law could be brought to bear on solving her problem. So the law is a problem solver. The law is salvation. The law is the solution. The law is the answer. So I suggested that by imagining, so now the suggestion is how to operate it. Here are the rules. Here's how you do it. So I suggested that by imagining the apartment had been rented. Imagine it. What's another word for that?
Pretend.
Okay.
Manifested.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. So if you're pretending, right, and you are manifesting, the apartment had been. What does that mean? Had been rented. Had been. What does that mean?
It already happened.
So then what's another word that you can use then? Is that pretending?
Stepped into. You realized, actualized.
The past,
The past? So then what else? What else was another word?
Previous?
Previous? Previous? What are you always doing? You don't really realize it, but what are you always doing?
Accept.
Accepting? You're accepting what you have already.
Imagined.
Okay, another word.
done.
Done. What's another word? That's right. Another word for done.
What?
Thought. Do you think everything that you
No.
thought is
Created?
creator? Assumed.
So the law of assumption, duh.
I suggested by assuming the apartment had been rented. That is what that means. I suggested by imagining. So he's telling her how the law works. He's telling you how to work the law. It's a law because you're coming for a guarantee. You want your problem. She said how the assumption could be brought on solving her problem. So there's a problem, there's a challenge, there's an issue, there's a desire, there's a want, there's a hope, there's a need. Doesn't matter what you call it, because no matter what you call it, how you address it is the same. So it doesn't matter what you call it. How you address it doesn't matter whether you're in panic or whether you're in peace. How you use this thing is the same. Doesn't matter whether you're black or you're white. Gravity works the same. Man or woman, gravity works the same because it's a law. So it doesn't matter what state you're in. It only matters whether you operate this thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing it for. It only matters how you operate it. So I suggested by imagining that the apartment had been rented. Not going to be, not will be, not someday will be. I suggested that by assuming the apartment had been. So you are assuming your end. That is how you work the law of assumption. Assumption is you're imagining. It means you are now assuming the end. I'm imagining the apartment had been rented. I'm assuming my desired end. That is how you work the law of assumption. It doesn't matter whether you call it a law. It doesn't matter whether you know it's a law. You are always assuming ahead of your evidence. You are always believing something. Always. About everything. You have a belief about every single thing. You may not, some you may know, some you don't know, but as far as what your belief is, but you have a belief about everything. And your assumption, your belief about something is what humanity calls reality. But it's nothing but an assumption. It's nothing but what you believe to be true, which brings it into the truth, which brings it into physical form. Because you are the truth. So I suggested that by assuming the apartment had been rented, I suggested that by living in the end of your desire. What is it? She wanted her apartment to be rented. Okay, assume that your apartment had been rented. Not is going to be, not is, but had been. It's already done. As you said, done. But we're going into how do you actually do that? By imagining, by assuming the end. By telling yourself, I am now living in the end of my desire. What do I want? I want this apartment rented. Okay, my apartment has now been rented. It's rented. It's been rented for a week. It's been rented for a month. It has been. What does it say? Whatever you desire when you pray, believe you have received it and you will. You cannot receive something you don't have. You can't rent something that already hasn't been rented. You cannot rent something in hand that has not already been rented in mind. You cannot receive something in hand that you don't already have in mind. It's already got to be to become. It already has to be a done deal for you. But everything works that way. Everything that you see in your physical world is because it was already a done deal to you. Doesn't matter what state of mind you accepted it in panic or peace, in pieces or peace, it doesn't matter. You believed it to be true for whatever reason. None of those things matter. Only thing that matters is, do you believe that or not? Meaning, are you accepting that as true or not? Faith is nothing but what you tell yourself and what you stick to. It doesn't mean that there aren't other options. That's what makes it faith. That's what makes it an assumption. It is something that you are choosing to believe, even though there are other options. You're choosing to believe that you're going to be laid off, even though everybody isn't laid off. You're choosing to believe that you're going to keep your job, even though other people are laid off. You are telling yourself something and sticking to it, even though there are other options. That is your faith. That is your assumption. That is your fact. That is what you're saying and sticking to. So I suggested that by imagining the apartment had been rented, you are assuming that your desire has already taken place. Because in truth, it has. Because like we talked about last week, right? I am is omnipresent. That means all the tenses of humanity, past, present, and future, are all one to your true mind, to your higher mind. To your true nature, all tenses are right now. There is only I am. There's only right now. So had been is the same thing as will be, as is the same thing as is. They're all the same. They're all the same. Right? So you put your focus on, okay, right now, this is done right now. I suggested that assuming the apartment had been rented by a person desiring immediate occupancy, and by assuming that this was the case, assuming, what does that mean? Believing without sight. I am taking this for granted. I'm taking this as a fact. I'm taking this as true, even though with my brain, with my sight, I cannot see it. But I'm assuming. Walk by assumption, not by sight. Walk by faith, not by sight. Assume it has been. Assume you have done. Assuming it's so. That means you are telling yourself that this is the way it is. But you do that with everything in life, because everything you see right now in your physical world, that's what you did. Whether you know it or not, whether you remember it or not, whether no matter what state of mind you did that in, like I said, panic or pieces, that is what you did in order to make what you have in your physical world a case or so. When somebody invented the iPhone, they had to assume that that was true, because otherwise you won't continue to make it, so to speak, with your hands. You're assuming that this is going to work, you're assuming the end. That's how you get there. That's how you experience it. So the law says that you have to assume that it is already the case. Right? You tell yourself that this is what it is. Right? So she's telling you what she wants. She wants immediate occupancy. Right? So assume that you have your desire. What? Desiring immediate occupancy. And by assuming that this was the case, her apartment actually would be rented. By assuming it has been, that it's already so, it will be. By assuming this is the case, her apartment actually would be rented. In order to create the necessary feeling of naturalness. So what is the feeling of naturalness? Feeling, what is another word for feeling? What's a better word for feeling?
Knowing.
Knowing. Yeah.
Emotions?
No. Emotions are happy, sad, mad, glad. Feeling and emotion are not the same thing. Feeling can create emotion, but you cannot have emotion without feeling. You can have feeling without an emotion, because you don't have to have necessarily any, or you don't have to have a particular one. You can feel something, and depending on who you are with that feeling, that can make you happy or sad, mad or glad, excited or feeling is another word for feeling is awareness. You know, you can say, something just doesn't feel right. That's not emotion. That's an awareness you're talking about that you're trying to put your finger on. Like, what is something's going on here? That's a feeling. It's an awareness of something. So that another word for that is knowing, right? Like, I know something's happening. I don't know what it is, but I know you may not be able to put your finger on it. It's almost like when you walk in the house and you smell something. That's feeling. It's an awareness of something. You may not know what you're smelling, but you're aware that you're smelling something. Something caught your attention. That's feeling. It's another word for that, a better word for that for people to understand is awareness. Emotion is not feeling. Emotion is happy, sad, mad, glad, but you only get emotion based on feeling. You only get feeling based on consciousness. No dead people are aware of anything. You cannot have an emotion without a feeling. So consciousness creates feeling, and feeling creates creates emotion. Right? So in order to create the necessary awareness of naturalness, the feeling, the awareness of what you want, the feeling that it was already, the awareness that it was already, in order to create the necessary awareness of naturalness, the awareness that it was already a fact that our apartment was rented. So now what he's telling you to do is, okay, assume it's true. Now, how do you do that for yourself? Everybody does it in different ways. You may script, you may affirm, you may imagine, you may do whatever. What does it take to get you in the mood, right? To get your awareness of that thing being already the truth. He's saying, I suggested that she drift off into sleep that very night, imagining, right? Assuming herself, right? Assuming herself not to be in her apartment, but assuming herself to be in whatever place she would be if the apartment were rented, suddenly rented. If this were true, where would you be sleeping? If this were true, what would you be buying? If this were true, what would you be saying? You do all this in your mind. You don't go out in the world and do it. You do it in your mind. Everything starts in your mind. Everything you see in your physical world is just a reflection of what was in your mind. It was an idea first. So what you do is you conjure or create that idea in your mind, that awareness of being that end in your mind. So what would you be doing if you had what you wanted? What would you be doing if you had that relationship? What would you be doing if you had that relationship with that person? What kind of conversation can you imagine happening? What could you imagine happening for yourself? It doesn't mean like envision, but just what would you say? What could you think you would think? Oh man, if you were over here right now, we'd be having coffee. Or if she were here, we'd be doing this. Or if I were living in that place, I'd be going on a walk around the neighborhood. Just things that you can imagine that you could see yourself doing in whatever the situation is. So she quickly grasped what? The idea. See, everything in your physical world is first what? The idea. So he's telling her to get a hold of the idea, become aware of the idea, become aware of the idea the idea of your end. It's almost like when you move into a new place, you become aware of that place, of the idea. You start becoming aware of it. You're like, oh, there's birds here. Oh, these sounds, all these things. Once you get there, you start to really hear the things that that place represents and reflects. So she grasped the idea. He's telling her to get the idea, get the awareness, right? Get the awareness of your desired end. In this case, your apartment. But it could be being money. It could be a relationship. It doesn't matter what it's for. It all works the same. The whole point is you have to grasp the idea. You have to be willing to tell yourself, like, this is what it is for me. This is how it is present, current. I already am it. It's already rented. I'm already rich. I'm already healthy. I'm already happy. I'm already whatever it is I'm seeking to be. I'm now identifying myself as the holder of it, the doer of it, the whatever of it. I'm already that. Right? So you have to grasp that idea. So he said, use imagination to do it, right? Or you can use scripting to do it. You can use affirming to do it. All of that is to get you in the mood to create the awareness of the idea. And said that in such a situation, she said, so, okay, if I grasp this idea, if I were assuming this is true, she said she would sleep in her country home, even though it was not yet open for the summer. She said, if I got what I wanted, this is what I'd be doing. So if you got that relationship, what would you be doing? If your health was the way you wanted to be, what would you be doing? If you had the money that you wanted, what would you be doing? If you had whatever it is, you had the job you wanted, what would you be doing? If you had the car you had that you wanted, where would you be going? Right? So she said, this is what I would be doing. So she said that this interview so they had this conversation on Thursday. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the following Saturday morning, she phoned me from her home in the country, excited and happy. So go back up a little bit, please. So what did it say? If I had what I wanted, she said, I would sleep in my country home. When she phoned, where did she call from?
The country home.
She called from the country home. She called from the place. So the word became flesh. She called from the place that she imagined she was, but she couldn't call from that place before she grasped the idea. She couldn't call from that place until she assumed she was already there. See, we're going to get to it, but you guys are waiting. You're waiting to see what it takes your assumption to see. Oh, I'll believe it when I see it. That's why you don't. That's why you won't. Because it takes your belief to see anything. She had to grasp the idea of already being in her country home before she was able to phone him from her country home, excited and happy. So she used the law. You can call it whatever you want. It's a law, meaning it's absolute guaranteed proof. You don't have to call it a law. You don't have to call it anything. It doesn't work because of what you call it. It doesn't work even because you know it. It works whether you know it or not. It's always working. It's always been working. Everything has always been, including you. All the laws have always been. All your successes always been. All your failures always been. They've always been. They're just a matter of what you're experiencing or not, based on what you understand and how you apply things. So she grasped the idea. You can't have in your hand what you will not, what you are unwilling to grasp, or what you don't have in your mind. Everything you have in your hand is because it was first in your mind. There is no exception. So everything you want to experience physically must first be assumed or accepted or allowed in your mind, because your experiences are only your assumptions. All you're doing is experiencing your assumptions. All you're doing is experiencing what you have already believed to be true and not changed. Not because they're good or bad, not because they're right or wrong, not because there's morals or ethics. It has nothing to do with it. Gravity does not stop a good person from jumping off the roof. This is not a moral experience in humanity. This is not about morality or ethics, because all you are is I am. Experiencing yourself through humanity. That's all you are. So you are already everything you'll ever be. There is no, you're not becoming a better person here, right? You're just having experiences here, right? So if you want something in your hand, you have to be willing to grasp the idea. What does that take for you to grasp that idea? What does it take for you to start telling yourself that's who you are before you see it? That's what an assumption is. It is something you are taking as a truth before you can physically see it. She had to grasp the idea that she is sleeping in her country home before she could call from her country. You have to grasp the idea that it's already so before it can be so in your hand, before it can be experienced by you. You have to grasp the idea. You have to be willing to assume. You have to be willing to tell yourself that this is the way it is for me right now. What you are waiting to believe after you see, you will never see, because your sight is dependent on your belief. Everything you see is because of what you believe. It doesn't work the other way around. So when you're requiring proof and validation, how do I know this is true? How do I know I'm going to get it? Because you're I am. You're all that is. You're all there is. There is no other. There's no one else to do it for you. There's no one else to do it with you. You're all that is. I am God, and there is no other. You're all there is. You're all that is. So the proof and validation that you're looking for outside of you is actually you. You're looking outside your window looking for you. You're the proof. You're the validation. You're the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. You are. So the conversation took place on Thursday. On Saturday morning, she called excited and happy. She told me that on Thursday night, so they had a conversation on Thursday morning. She told me that on Thursday night, she had fallen asleep actually imagining. Another word for imagining is what?
Assume.
Assuming. Assuming means what?
Knowing.
Knowing. Knowing what?
It's already
It's already
done.
done.
Mm-hmm.
It's already done without what? Without what?
Proof.
Proof,
Which then proof is called what? What do you call proof?
sight, seeing it.
Sight, seeing it, somebody agreeing, somebody validating you, somebody telling you you can have that, somebody telling you that you're good enough, somebody telling you that it's possible, someone telling you that it's reasonable, anything or anyone outside of yourself. Without anything or anyone outside of yourself. You fall asleep actually assuming to be true what you said, without anything or anyone outside of yourself. And feeling that. What's another word for feeling?
Knowing.
Knowing. What's another word? That's perfect. That's a great word.
Awareness.
Awareness. Aware. Just like you're aware of your name, just like you know your name. You don't have to say it every 5 minutes. You know it. You may not say your name for a week. You may be at the house by yourself for a week. Your kids are out of town. Your significant other's out of town. You're on vacation. You may be by yourself for a week for one reason or another. And you may not say your name. No one may ask you your name for a week. Don't you still know it? Aren't you still aware of it? Is that faith? No, it's awareness. It's knowing. You know yourself to be. Faith is only necessary when you don't know. You don't believe your name by faith. You know your name. There's not faith is not required. So when you fall asleep, right, assuming, meaning whatever you tell yourself is true, in the feeling, in the awareness of what you're told yourself being true. When you fall asleep in that, right? When you walk around, when you're telling yourself that, you're assuming this to be true. And whatever way is best for you. Is it walking around all day telling yourself, affirming? Is it imagining, just believing yourself to be that thing? Is it writing it down? Whatever puts you in the mood that what you told yourself is true without anyone or anything outside of you. That you are aware of being what you told yourself without anything or anyone else outside of you. That is assumption. That is the law of assumption. That is how you work. That whatever you told yourself is true is true. That is a done deal. And what she said, she fell asleep as a done deal. That she was sleeping in her other bed at her country home. She wasn't going there. She wasn't waiting to go there. She wasn't waiting for it to be sold. She did now what she would be doing if she had what she had. So since she had what she had, since she told herself she had it, then she did it in her mind. Well, since I'm telling myself I had it, the same place I'm telling myself, I'm going to now live there in that same place. So she, in her mind, she told herself it was true. So in her mind, she slept as it was true. She slept in her other bed in her country home, many miles away from the city apartment she was occupying. So your body is in one place and your mind is in another. And you have to figure out which one you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to your mind that's telling you, okay, it's true because we have decided? Or are you going to listen to your brain that's saying, well, our body is still here? Or your brain via other people? Your brain via other people and things. Your body telling you it's still here, or your friend, girl, you're in the same place. You ain't doing nothing. Or you don't have no job. You don't have no money. You don't have that money. You have to figure out who you're going to listen to. Whose report will you believe? What do they say? You heard that song in church, right? Whose report will you believe? What do people say?
The Lord.
We shall believe the report of the Lord. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You shall believe the report of the Lord. You're going to see the Lord in a minute, right? And when we get to something else, you should believe the report of the Lord. You have to figure out who you're going to believe. You are the Lord. You have to figure, you're the overseer. You are the ruler. You are the I am. You are the awareness of being. So the awareness of being, see, it's not doing. What did she do? She already did that at the beginning. She already gave her place to the best agents. And what did she get for it? At the beginning, what did she get?
Nothing.
Nothing. What did it say? She put her apartment in the best agents, in the hands of the best agents, and no one would even come to see the place that she wanted to rent it. But she put her place in the hands of the best agents. So what do you do then? Panic, worry, stress, fear, doubt, give up, quit, turn around, oh well. That's because you're following a rule. But we're not dealing with rules here. We're dealing with laws. We're dealing with absolute fact, absolute proof, absolute truth, guarantees. Don't you want guarantees? Aren't you always looking for a guarantee? Well, how do I know this is going to work? Well, how do I know? Well, I need a warranty. That's a guarantee that somebody's going to do something about your problem. Well, that's what we're using here. Something that's going to do something about your problem or your pleasure, your past or your future, or your present or your joy, your peace or your pieces. You want something to make that you can use to make it right. Well, that's what we're using. Something to make it right, to ensure that it's right. Gets right, stays right, is right. So what did she do? She fell asleep, actually, assuming and being aware. She placed her awareness in her end, not in her present, in her end. You use your mind to put yourself in your end. That's where you put your focus, your attention, your intention in your desired end. On Friday, the very next day. On Friday, so they had this conversation Thursday. Thursday night, she did what he told her to do. Assume awarely, with awareness. Assume that you are what you told yourself. And that's where you are in your mind. This is what it is. She did that. They had a conversation on Thursday. She did it on Thursday night. On Friday, the very next day, a highly desirable tenant, one who met all her requirements as a responsible person, not only rented the apartment, but rented it on the condition that he can move in that very day. All her requirements were met. Not some, not a couple, not, well, the most important ones, all of them. A highly desirable tenant, a responsible person. The very next day, rented on the condition that you get out today. Didn't she want to get out already? So that person that she is describing is who?
Herself.
Herself. Yep, yes, herself. Monique has a last name. So herself is Monique. What is her last name? Herself.
I am. Oh, that's all I got is herself.
Yeah, herself, right? That's why I'm saying it this because I want everybody to understand the whole name. So Monique has a last name. Sparkle Bailey has a last name. Ronette has a last name. All of us have last names. Herself is her first name. What is her last name? In this story, what is her last name? Herself. So this person represents herself. What's her last name?
Fulfilled?
What's that? Yeah, kind of.
In Christ.
Okay. What does Christ represent?
Assumptions.
Assumption. What do assumptions create? What does Christ represent?
Is it inspired action?
Herself made flesh.
Oh, the word became flesh.
I know y'all need like it. Yeah.
Write that down.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess what manifesting is? What is it?
The word became flesh.
Yep, Leanne, I saw you mouth it. What is it?
Herself became flesh.
So yourself always becomes flesh. Every time. Every time. You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. We are not talking about something that isn't already happening. We're not making anything happening. What my intention, what we're doing here is becoming aware of what's already happening. We're not making anything up. We're not making anything new. Like nothing new is happening. What we think is new is becoming aware that it's already happening. Is becoming aware that we actually have a choice. That we actually have a say. That's what we're doing here. We're not making up like a new thing, like nothing is happening, so we're going to make something happen. No, it's already happening. It's always been happening. It will always be happening. Your word is always made flesh. That is what manifesting is. What you call manifesting is you made flesh. It is you, capital Y-O-U. Not he, not they, not them, not it. It is capital Y-O-U, made flesh. And the Y-O-U is represented by, there was a word in there that he was trying to get her to get. What was that word?
Was it accept? Because I missed the first part, but was it accept?
Accept what?
What she desired was already
I'll
real.
go back down, you're passing it. You're right there. It's right there. Stop right there. It's right there in front of your face.
Grasped.
What do you grasp?
The idea.
The idea. The idea is you. That's you. The idea is capital Y-O-U. What did I say? Faith is what? Are the things you tell yourself and stick to. It's the idea that you hold on to. There's a lot of other options, but you pick that one for whatever reason. Everybody's getting laid off. You told yourself, I'm not. Everybody's being hired. You told yourself, I'm not. You picked something amongst other options, and you decided to stick with the thing you picked. Capital Y-O-U is another word for that, is idea. It's the thing that you're telling yourself. He said, I was trying to get her to grasp the idea. What the idea is, whatever your desired end is. You have to grasp the idea as your desired end, not the idea as a desire, as the end. The desire is just to get you to start the car. If you got in your car, started it, and then cut it off, where did you go? Nowhere. So if you just had an idea and then you just said, oh, well, what did that do?
Nothing.
So what do you think you're doing just because you got a whole bunch of ideas?
Nothing.
But here's the thing. Ideas are the best thing you can have. The problem is they don't do anything if you don't step into them. If you're unwilling to identify yourself as them. So then people will tell you, stop dreaming. But everything you see in physical form was first a dream. Was first an idea. Ideas are the best thing you can have. The problem is they don't do anything until you're willing to identify with them. Money is a great thing. It don't help you if you don't spend it. What if all you could do was save money and you could never spend it? After a while, how would that feel to you? Right? How would it feel?
Disappointing, annoying, pointless.
So what do you think an idea is that you don't act on? Say it again.
Disappointing, annoying, pointless.
Pointless.
Pointless. So then people tell you stop dreaming, but it's because most people don't know what to do with the dream. They don't know what to do with it. But the dream is the best thing you can get. That's the best thing you could ever have. Because everything you see in your physical world started with that. You can call it a dream. You can call it an idea. You can call it an invention. They're all the same thing. They're all the same thing. Everything you see in your physical world started with that. Whatever words you want to use, it started with that. It's the best thing you could have. That is when you're really popping the most. That's when you're really doing it, is when you have those. It's the best thing you could ever have. But because most of us don't know how to assume, how to become aware, we don't know how to grasp that idea. We don't use it, and then we just think it's pointless. Like, well, what's the point of having this thing? The point is to use it. But if you don't know who you are, you'll think you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck and unable to rent, unable to sleep in your summer home. You'll be unable to use that desire. But that's all the desire is there for, is to be used. It's not there to be saved. It's not there to be, where are you going to save it? Put it to who? Save it for what? It's yours. It's not for anyone else. It's for you. He was trying to get her to grasp the idea, to take a hold of yourself. Y-O-U equals idea. Get a hold of yourself. See yourself as that idea. See yourself as that now. Not later, not in the future, not tomorrow, not next week, now. That's how you call from your summer home. She called from the place that she thought she was in first. You have to think you're there first. You have to see yourself there first. It just means be willing to tell yourself that and stick to it because you know the law. It's not emotional. Well, I don't feel it. Well, I'm not crying. Well, I'm not just passing out. I'm not running up and down the aisle. It's not emotional. You can have an emotion about it, but you can only have an emotion about a feeling, about awareness. Awareness creates emotion. When you're aware of being something, it can create an emotion. It doesn't have to, and it doesn't have to create a particular one, but it can. But you can't have an emotion without a feeling. So you focusing on your emotions don't mean anything if you're unwilling to be aware of being that thing. Right? All right, we're moving on. Word of the day. Before you pull it up, thank you. Doctor. What does the word doctor mean?
Someone who practices medicinal practices or medical practices.
Okay.
To fix?
Expert.
To
Let's say
fix?
To fix, an expert. Okay. Anyone else?
It's a setup.
Oh, it always is. No, I'm as shady as they come. Yeah,
I can't.
they come. All right. Pull up the word, please. What does that say?
Church father is wild.
Church poppy.
What else does it say? What is a church father? What does it say a church father is?
From Old French doctor and directly from medieval Latin doctor, religious teacher, advisor, scholar, in classical Latin, a teacher, agent, noun from dossier. I hope I pronounced that right. To show, teach, cause, to know, originally to make appear right.
So,
Co-
right? So, what are they making appear right?
Whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is.
What's the issue and the problem?
What I thought was something physical within the body, but based on this definition, it seems like it's more to it than that.
What is it? What is it saying?
Basically a priest.
Okay, let's say it's a priest. What is a priest? What is a priest's job?
To teach.
overlook something? To overlook
Is it? Does it have to do with the mind? I'm driving, so I can't look at it.
Yeah, what does it say? To show, to teach, to cause to know. It's not talking about it. A doctor is someone that is fixing your mind. That's what a doctor, that is the original definition. That is the definition of doctor. Look at it, it's 1300. If you go down, if you look down, right where it says the sense of a medical professional, right? And that was the original word for that you're thinking about, a medical professional, is a leech. That's what a doctor originally was, a leech. That's a different definition. But what does it say? Gradually grew out of this 1400. Though the use of this word was not common until late 1600. So the word that you think is doctor, that you think is a medicinal person, that came out anywhere from 100 to 300 years later of what you call it now. The definition, the true definition of the word doctor is a religious teacher, advisor, scholar, someone that shows you, teaches you, causes you to know how to think. The word doctor is talking about someone that helps you fix your mind, get your mind right. It's not talking about your body. That book called the Bible is not talking about your body, the physical world or physical people. It is using the body, all physical things, whether it's the body, the world, people. It is using all those to show you. Those are all stories and examples to help you understand what's going on within you. It's using external things to show you what's going on internally. Everything that the word that you think is a doctor that we all know to be now, that's connotated. That is how the word is just being used in society. That's not the actual definition of the word. Denotatively, it is a religious teacher. It is an advisor, a scholar. To show, to teach, to cause, to know. Now, religious does not mean Christian, does not mean Buddhist, Baptist. Religious is talking about your understanding of how something works completely, wholly, your awareness of knowing who you are, what you are, and your complete understanding of that. That's why it says advisor, scholar, to show, to teach, to cause, to know. The doctor's job is to get you to know it or to repair you when you don't, when you are forgotten or are misunderstanding or have been misled. When you're sick, it's either to keep you healthy or repair you when you're sick in your mind. The definition of doctor is a mental thing. It is not a physical thing. It's known that way now, which is fine. But I want you to understand from the beginning, this is all, life is a mental thing. The universe is mental, all is mind. Everything starts in your mind. We're not talking about positive thinking. We're not talking about being a good person. We're talking about everything starts in mind, in consciousness. That's why your name is I Am. It is not Monique. It's not your name. That is the name of your character, of your persona, of the actress that I Am is acting as. I Am is your name unto all generations. That doesn't mean we're not saying go off into a mountain somewhere like, I am not Monique. No, we're not saying that. But we're saying live as I am through Monique. As I am that has all the money, has all the health, has all the success, has all the prosperity, has all the abundance, has all the victory, has all the glory. Father, return to me the glory I had with you before the world was. You had glory before this world was. This world is not making you anything. You've always been everything. Everything that you're aspiring to be now in humanity is only because you've always been. What does Shakespeare say? You would not have searched for me if you hadn't already found me. You wouldn't be looking for me if you hadn't already found me. You wouldn't want to be the things you want to be if you weren't already those things. You just forgot who you were, so you forgot what you have. You forgot what you had. You forgot who you've been. You've already, all those so-called desires that you have, it's because you've already been those things. You already are those things. You're just not experiencing those things physically right now because you don't identify yourself as that. You're not experiencing the wealth that you've always had because you're identifying yourself as Monique and saying, I'm broke. When we identify ourselves with our humanity, do we only say the insane things like that? Do we only say, oh, well, I can't afford it? Well, this is too hard. Well, if it's too hard for you as Monique and Veronica is I Am, just like Monique is I Am, how can Veronica do it and Monique not do it? If I Am is both of those people. Only against you, Father, have I sinned. Only against your own awareness would you make that error. Are you making that error? You're making an error. You're assuming yourself to be something you're not. That's why it's easy to be unhappy, unhealthy, unsafe, unsuccessful, undisciplined. It's easy to be disconnected from all those things. For things to be impossible, separated from possibility. To be immature, separated from maturity. Only in humanity can you be the opposite of who you are. That's the only way it's possible. And just like I said last week, that's what keeps us in the past. We just keep replaying the past. The dead, oh, we're in the graveyard. But we think because we got some Jordans on, we can call it some kind of rainforest. No, it's the graveyard. Okay, it's not just a place where the J's on, don't just because you got your hair done, just because you got your lashes done. Okay, no, it's still the graveyard. Okay, just because you got some baby hair going, so your edges is on. No, it's still the graveyard. Okay, still the graveyard.
Coach, you're gonna leave my edges alone. You're gonna leave my edges alone.
Right.
They back, okay? They back.
Right. You can have the coldest outfit you want in hell. You can have it we can dress any way you like. Right? But the environment is ruthless, it's relentless. It don't give up, it don't give in. It is what it is, right? Only this. See, when we have our mind is almost, I was explaining this week, our brain, right? When we were born, so to speak, in this human body, we forgot who we were. So our brain has been working the entire time. So our brain now has this concept of finders keepers. So all the stuff that we've been believing since we started thinking, so to speak, well, all the stuff we've been believing we've accumulated all these thoughts and feelings and beliefs about life. So now we're all on here because we're waking up. So it's almost like now the parent is home. And the parent's like, well, why does this room look like this? Well, where's your homework at? So your brain is almost like that child, like, man, look, I'm adopted. I don't know where you've been, but don't be trying to come back up in here changing stuff now. Right? That's literally what your brain thinks. Like, I'm adopted. I don't know who you are, but I know this is my friend, or this is how my room is. Get out of my life. You weren't here early. Where you been? All this other, it has this feeling of like, I don't know who you are. What are you talking about? But as you've awakened to who you are and you're coming to your right mind, you're like, oh, I got to set some things straight here, right? Like, what is this sick thing we're doing? This broke thing, like, what? What? But your brain is like, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about, but I got to get to work because I can't afford this thing, or I got to do this or do that. So your mind is coming back trying to restore order, right? As we're awakening, it's trying to restore order. And your brain is like, hell no. I got all this, I got this going, I got that going, because it believes it's been abandoned. It thinks like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see that. Where's the proof? What are you talking about? What is that? Well, I don't see that. Well, no, I don't. Right? And your mind is like, man, what is the problem? Right? But your brain is like, well, what is your problem? This is what it is. I'm just being realistic. This is reality. And you're like, you didn't even create reality. What are you talking about? It's almost like when your kids start thinking they're grown and they start talking to you crazy, you're like, wait, what'd you say? Right? Yeah, you get that moment where you're like, oh, you know why? Because in that moment, they're not talking to you as a parent. You're reacting, you're not responding as a parent, you're responding as a person. You're like, whoa, I don't let anybody talk to me like that. So forget the parent thing, let's put that to the side. What did you say? Right? You start talking as a person now because you realize, oh, you done crossed the line. You done went too far, right? So your brain has this whole life that it believes this is the way it is. This is how it is. This is how it's got to be. So when you're telling yourself just to assume you are something, your brain's like, hell no. Don't you feel this bed? It's hard. It's uncomfortable. Look, don't you see that rat running across the floor? We'll never get out of here. We don't have that money. Didn't you see the notice on the counter? I know you see it, right? It does everything it can to hold on to its experience because it's all it's ever known. It's never known itself to be anything but what it has experienced. And so as we're awakening to who we are, our mind is coming back to set the record straight. Our mind is coming back to reclaim its fame. Our mind is coming home as a prodigal son. But guess who else is home with the prodigal son? It isn't just the father who's happy to see you. It's the brother who's not. If the brother's like, this nigga here. Yeah, come on, man. Let's just tell it like it is. You know how we say it? Like, no, it's right? Like, yeah, well, why are you gonna listen to him? He ain't been here. He had right. Your brain is always that ego part of your mind is fighting your awareness, saying, I don't know what you're talking about. No, we're not gonna. But your mind is like, no, this is how it is. This is how it is. So now you have to retrain your brain. You have to relearn. That's what we are doctoring here. We are restoring our right mind by remembering who we are. That all the things you want to be, do, and have, those are natural things. Those aren't things to chase. That's your nature. You're supposed to be winning. Why? Because you've already won. That's why. You only want to win because you already won. You only want to win because you're aware of winning. How do you think you're aware of winning? You just think you just started winning? You've been a winner. You just forgot who you are. And as you awaken, you start just think about as you've matured in life physically, how many things that you wouldn't do now that you did before. You'd be like, man, I would never. You can't. Why did I even? Where was I? What was I? Right? What was I thinking? Why? He wasn't even that cute. His ears are huge. You'd be like, man, she's not. Right? But at the time, nobody could tell you anything. Right? Nobody could be like, no, that's him, or no, that's her, or whatever it is. You really believed in that thing. And now looking back, you're like, right? You were like, good Lord, if I'd have been on drugs, it might have been better because at least I could have understood it. Right? I thought I was really saved. Right? It is right. And so as you mature, you start to change. And now you're coming back to set the record straight. You're saying, no, I'm not crazy. I'm not sick. I'm not broke. I'm not weird. I'm not sad. I'm not lonely. My children aren't this. My experience isn't this. No, this is the way it is. This is actually the truth. I didn't know. I was asleep. I didn't know. But now that I'm awake, I'm back. This is the way it is. It's not that anymore. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't have to be like that. No, it's like this. This is actually right. I haven't experienced that much of it yet, but this is actually right because this thing over here doesn't make any sense. This is not sustainable. How long am I supposed to be sick? Forever? Broke forever? Sad forever? That relationship is supposed to be messed up forever? That like this is going to just go on forever? How if I go on forever? So, no, that's not going to work out. This actually makes sense. I'm supposed to be healthy. I'm supposed to be successful. I'm supposed to be prosperous and in good health, even as my soul prospers. That's the way this is supposed to be. That is the default. This weird stuff over here is not right. That's just when we were asleep. How things supposed to go when you're asleep, when you don't know better? What's it supposed to look like? Just the way it looks. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we're here now. We can leave the graveyard. Your Christ mind has come home and be like, hey, we woke up. Hey, it's time to get up out the graveyard. It's time to restore you to your right mind. That's what we're here doing. We are doctoring. We are being restored to our right mind so that we think properly about who we are and therefore how things go. I don't need rules. I got the law. I don't need you. I got me. I don't need your opinion, your proof, your validation. I don't need you to agree, to understand. I don't need any of that. I choose, I decide, I am, and I'm all there is, and I'm all that is. So therefore, I will bring whatever resources are necessary right to me. I'm the one that made it all, so I know where it is. When they asked Jesus to pay his taxes, he went out there and said, pull that fish out that water, take that gold coin, and pay for me and for you. He didn't do no blood drive, wasn't asking for donations, wasn't asking for people's opinion, asking for people's help, contributions. No, I know where all my stuff is. I made it. Pay for me and for you. All of your resources are at hand right now. Why? Because you're here. Where else are they supposed to be? Where else are they supposed to be? Where's your money supposed to be? Where's your health supposed to be? When is it supposed to be? You're here today, but your health is 2 weeks away. What does that do for you now? You got a bill today, and your money's coming, and your check is coming in 2 weeks. What does that do for you now? All you are is now. Isn't that what I am is? Why are you here, but your resources aren't? Why are you present, but your resources aren't? Why are you present, but your resources aren't? Why not?
My God.
Why not? When? When are you, what are you waiting on? You. Y-O-U. You waiting on you. Remember that? Yeah, come on, man. I'm just saying. Keep everybody awake. Yeah. Why not? You're waiting. You're waiting. You're in the graveyard. And then once you realize you're in the graveyard, then you beat yourself up for even being there. And so you're waiting. You're constantly waiting. You're on hold, like 911 the hood. You're on hold. Hello, yeah, I'll hold. You on hold. Call the DMV on Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning. You'll be on hold. You're just on hold. Your whole life is on hold because you're waiting for the thing that is waiting on you, which is you. Y-O-U. You think all your desires are here and you're not ready for them? How? Then why did they come? You think your mind doesn't know what you can handle? But your brain is telling you that you can't. And you're listening to your brain. So now you're sitting up there with a house that you can't get out of, an apartment you can't get out, but you gave it to all the best real estate agents and nobody wouldn't come see your place. You better start operating the law. You better start learning how to talk to yourself and tell yourself what it is. But you know what the problem is? We got too many options. See, in America, America is the greatest country on the earth. I'm not saying moral, ethically, but we're talking about all things included. Lifestyle, freedom, everything like that. America's so great, you can be stupid and still make it. You can be dumb and still be fed. Go to these other countries and see how that worked for you. You will starve on the side of the road. They don't have all these safety nets. They don't have all these other, no, they don't have all that. You will die. But here, you can literally be a fool and still remain alive. Somebody will take care of you. That's how much we have in this country, right? But guess what? Our mind is just like that. We got too many other options we're willing to consider. We got too many others. We got, boy, I'm telling you, we got more gods than products and Target. We got everything that we're signing up for. Everything. And we're going to take a look at that. All right, Veronica, will you go to slide 1, please? we're gonna start talking about some things. Today. Oh yeah, today I'm putting the press on today and the pressure on today. All right, here we go. So we're gonna read a couple things, and there's a word I'm looking for, and let's see if you can get it. All right. And a woman who was there had been subject to the bleeding for 12 years. She suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she got worse. Then she heard, right? All right. Then she heard about Jesus. She came up behind him in the crowd and touched his clothes because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. Right? Okay, what is that called? She had a problem, it was fixed. What is that called?
Well, based on what we just
Healing?
talked about, doctoring her mind.
Okay. Anybody else? Healing? What else? When she heard about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his clothes because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. What is that called?
Manifesting.
Okay.
She doctored her mind.
Okay. What is that called? I'm sorry?
Awareness.
Awareness. Okay. Next one, please. You all failed. Next one.
I would say her faith made God, what did you say? How did you call it? Her
The word became flesh.
faith, yes, the word made flesh.
Yeah, failure. Next slide. Moving on here. Oh, you guys use these words every day. And when I ask you to give me the word, you don't know it because you don't know what the word means. And we're gonna press you today. Next slide, please. Next offensive thing I can say. Moving on, let's do it. We're going to get, okay. When Jesus had come to Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking him for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly. Jesus said to him, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers with me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. That's why he was amazed. There's a whole lot of people around and nobody doing it. But he said, for I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. What is that called? What is that?
Authority.
He declared, he commanded.
What is that called?
I mean, that's a God.
Who are you?
A God.
Are you? On Tuesday?
On Tuesday, I'm a God.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
That's the way you should be talking. Now, that's another fail for everybody else. Next slide. Still haven't got the word yet. We use it every day. Everybody use it, pump each other up and everything. Okay, now here is, I'll give you the word after this, but here's what I mean. This is America. What you're looking at right now is America. This is all the things that you're willing to consider instead of yourself. All the things you praise and worship instead of you. So I'm going to read through this because I want to get through and get it done so we can get back to it. So Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel. So Israel is the man that knows who they are, the mind that knows who they are in physical form. Would you say, I am God? I am is God. I am is the name of God. I am, your awareness is the sole supreme authority of your experience, period. So Israel is the mind that knows who it is in human form. So all the tribes of Israel gathered everybody, the elders, the leaders, the judges, the officials of Israel, and they presented themselves before God, before awareness, before I am. This is only you talking to you. So Joshua said to all the people, this is what the Lord, right? The law, I am what I tell myself, right? the awareness, right, of I am, the Lord, the awareness, the God, I amness of Israel, the person who knows who they are. Long ago, your ancestors came, including, right, Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River and worshiped other gods. That's you. But I took your father from Abraham, the land beyond the Euphrates, but I took him out of there and led him through Canaan and gave him many descendants. I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I assigned the hill country of Seir to Esau, but Jacob and his family went down to Egypt. So I assigned you this, but you decided to go down to bondage. That's what Egypt means, the house of bondage. Then I sent Moses and Aaron, and I afflicted the Egyptians. But what I did there, what I did, and I brought you out. When I, anybody catching this drift yet? I, singular. There's no we, there's no they, there's no them, there's no it. There's only I brought you out of Egypt. You came to the sea and the Egyptians pursued you. The house of bondage, the people that wanted to keep you trapped. All of your bills, all of your debt, all of your health, all of your sickness, all your poverty, pursuing your ass. It is on your head. Your relationships, all that stuff is on you, pursuing you with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. And that word really is the Reed Sea, right? But they cried, but now you cry to the Lord for help. When you can't pay your bills, when you're sick, when you're sad and you can't get that job, when your relationship sucks and all this stuff. But I tried to set you free, but you keep going back into bondage. So now all these things are pursuing you. So now you cry to me for help. But you cried to the Lord for help. And what did the Lord do? What did the law do? What did your awareness do? It put darkness between you and the Egyptians. It separated you so that it couldn't see you. You couldn't see that bill anymore. You couldn't see that poor health anymore. It separated you from that and brought you over the sea, brought you over infinite possibilities. It brought the sea over them and covered them, right? It just flooded them. You saw it with your own eyes what I did. I, singular, what I did to the Egyptians. Then you lived in the wilderness for a long time. Then you were confused because you were walking around talking about all this, they, them, and it, but I'm the only one helping you. Me. I brought you to the land of the Amorites who lived in the east of Jordan. They fought against you, but I gave them into your hands. I destroyed them from before you, and you took possession of their land. When Balak, son of Zippor, the king of Moab, prepared to fight against Israel, the people who knew who they are, he sent for Balaam, son of Beor, to put a curse on you. But I would not listen to Balaam. So he blessed you again and again. The person who's supposed to put a curse on you, I made them bless you again and again. I delivered you out of his hand. Oh yeah, this sounds like a Sunday in the South today. All I'm missing is some sweat, but I'm about to work it up. Don't worry about it. Then you crossed over Jordan and came to Jericho. The citizens of Jericho fought against you, as did also the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. But I, singular again, gave them into your hands. Haven't you noticed as I talk about your husband, your degree, your family, your friends? I, singular, I sent the hornet ahead of you, which drove them out before you, and also sent the 2 Amorite kings, right? You did not do it with your own sword and bow. You didn't do anything. You with your fancy degree, your big mouth, your greasy lips, your fast talking, your wisdom, all the other word, I almost said it, but I'm not because I'm gonna make you still get it. And all of that, where'd it go? When the trouble came, where'd it go? Where did all of it go? There's only I here with you. But I am the person you won't listen to. You want to listen to your friends. You want to listen to me, Mom, Peepaw, and your cousin, your fraternity brothers, your sorority sisters. You want to listen to your best friend. But I am the only one saving you every time. I am. Your awareness is the only one that's down with you when it really gets down. You don't see anybody else in here, do you? Oh, but I did. So then you crossed over and I gave them into your hands. You did not do it with your own sword and bow. So I gave you a land on which you did not toil, and cities you did not build, and you live in them and eat from the vineyards and the olive groves that you did not plant. Yeah, that's still me. That's still me helping you. Now you're going to have to pay at some, you're going to have to pledge allegiance to the flag. Otherwise, there's a thing, but I'm gonna get to it. Otherwise, there's some otherwise. Now, fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. Fear means respect. Period. It does not mean afraid, because what does it say? I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I haven't even given you, that you shouldn't even have. So it's talking about respect, reverence, just like you want your kids to respect and revere you appropriately because of what you do for them, your faithfulness to them. So now respect the Lord. What is that? Your awareness of being, I am. And serve it with all faithfulness. You cannot be I am and I am not. That's not faithful. That's double-minded, and you get nothing. Throw away the gods your ancestors worshipped, and that, your forefathers, the ones your parents did, the ones your friends are doing, throw them away. The ones you worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt. The ones you're worshiping are the ones that you're worshiping beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt. You're worshiping gods in Egypt. In the house of bondage, you're worshiping God, and that God kept you there, left you there. The ones you worship, that wasn't the God that took you out. And throw your gods away and serve the Lord. See how the Lord is in all caps? See how gods are in lowercase? Throw away your gods, all the ones that can't save you, all the ones that don't serve you, all the ones that don't hear you, all the ones that can't see you, yet you're still worshiping them. All of your beliefs and everything and everyone but you, throw those away and serve the Lord. Serve your awareness. I am what? I am what? I am who? I am how? I am your awareness. But, if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, if learning how to listen to yourself, respect yourself, appreciate yourself, hear yourself, if learning to trust yourself, if learning to know who you are, your awareness of being seems undesirable, then choose for yourself this day whom you serve. Go ahead and do that. Then you got a choice. Whether the gods, lowercase, your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You got a choice whether you are going to learn who you are, know who you are, love who you are, respect who you are, to the point that you'll actually start listening to yourself, actually start realizing and start telling yourself that I am prosperous and in good health, even as my soul prospers, that I have the victory in all things, that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, no harm shall come nigh my dwelling. That is my house and the Lord that I serve. My awareness of being I am. I'm not serving it or they or them. Nothing of that is outside of me. None of that is outside of you. But the gods you serve are all outside of you. Ain't none of them inside. They're all outside. But why do you think you look outside for validation all the time? Why do you think you look for proof all the time? Why do you think you care whatever people say all the time? What they think all the time? Why do you think you spend so much time trying to convince people that you love or that are around you that it should be, that they should agree with you, see it your way, and how you get salty when they don't? Because those are your gods that you are worshiping. That's why. Oh, nobody want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because I don't care what you think. This is the truth that keeps you free and sets you free. As for you and your house, you should serve the Lord. But if that seems undesirable to you, so I see, if that's not really, if you don't think you can do that, well, then the people answered, far be it from us to forsake the Lord, the law, your own self, to serve everything and everyone outside of you. It was the Lord, it was your own awareness that brought us out. It was the Lord God yourself. It was your own I amness within you that brings you out of Egypt. It's your own awareness within you that brings you out of bondage. Whatever bondage you're in. Just because you don't have jail cells physically don't mean you ain't in them mentally and emotionally. Don't mean you don't feel, don't mean that bill don't feel like a boa constrictor around your neck. Right? It doesn't mean that lack of relationship or all the things that you don't, the bondage that you feel, right? Only your awareness brings you out of that, from that land of slavery, and performs great signs before your eyes. Your awareness does that. I am free. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. Your awareness protects you on your entire journey among all the nations through which you travel. And the Lord, your awareness drove you out before all nations, including the Amorites who lived in the land. And we too will serve the Lord because he, meaning singular. Your awareness, it's only one God. There's only one authority in the universe. There's only one. That is your awareness of being. I am. It is your consciousness. That is the universe. That is nature. That is the law. That is the Lord. That is God. It's all the same thing. There's only one. In all, above all, and through all. Joshua said to the people, you are not able to serve the Lord. Like what you're doing, this old tricky stuff you're doing, he is a holy God. So that your awareness, right, is holy. You don't have to try to be holy. When you say I am, you are holy. You're spending your time trying to be holy, you already are. You're spending your time trying to be a saint, you already are. You're spending your time trying to do all these things, you already are. You just don't know who you are. Your awareness is holy. Your awareness, I am, is holy. Your awareness is jealous. What does that mean? I am. There is no other. Who are you talking to? It's not jealous like there's competition. It's jealous, not jealous like there's opposition. It's saying like, who else? Who are you? Why would you go out? That's not God. That's lowercase. The God at the end of jealous is capital. It's a capital G there. The Lord is all caps. He will not forgive your rebellion or your sin. Meaning, if you decide that, what did it say? If you decide, if that's too much for you, he will not forgive your rebellion or sin. Let me tell you what that means. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, he will turn and bring disaster on you and make an end of you after he has been good to you. So why would he do that to you if he's been good to you? Well, it's because he's not doing it to you. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, if he will not forgive your rebellions and your sin, he will turn. It means you're on your own. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, you're on your own. After he's been good to you, you're on your own. That's all it means. God doesn't have to punish you. The fact that you forget who you are is punishment enough. Can't you tell? Can't you tell? Forgetting who you are is enough. Can't you tell? God doesn't have to. God is putting on. God just said, okay. Most of us have kids. You know when you tell your kids something, after a while you're like, okay. Then they come back, they're like, yeah, well, oh, okay. I've been good to you. So why would I want to punish you? But just taking my hands off is punishment. It means you're on your own. Okay. You got to do it how you do it. I'm omniscient. I'm the parent. I know everything. I got the money. I got the car. I got the bank account. I got the house. I love you, but I don't need you. You need me. Everything you eat tonight is coming from me. Everything you wear. I remember I had 5 brothers. There's 5 of us. So my mom's famous thing was like, you don't got to run away. Just tell me you want to go and I'll help you pack. But you can't leave here with nothing that I bought. Well, going out the house butt naked is probably not going to work out. So guess what? We had to stay. There wasn't no running. So my mom was just like, okay, cool. Good luck with that. That's all it is. She didn't have to punish us. The world would do that when we left. We're on our own. So what did it say? But the people said to Joshua, no, we will serve the Lord. It was like, all right, Mom, I guess we'll serve the Lord. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have anything cracking on our own. We had to serve the Lord. We had to serve the greatest power in the environment. That is you. You are the greatest power in your environment. The Lord, all caps, not a lowercase G-O-D. That ain't going to get you anything at all. Lowercase G-O-D is N-O-T. It's not going to work out. Serve the Lord. That is your awareness of being. Okay, then Joshua said, you are witnesses against yourself that you have chosen to serve the Lord. Yes, we are all witnesses, they replied. So then I say to you now then, throw away all the foreign gods. See the little cap? See the low? It's all lowercase. Throw away the foreign gods that are among you and yield your hearts to the Lord, to the awareness of being that's within you, the God of Israel. The Lord God is all one. Israel, all one. It is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. I am. That is not anything or anyone outside of you. It's not anything or anyone outside. But these gods are like Americans in America. We got a whole bunch of options that we want to consider. But there's only one person helping you. From the beginning of all this that I read, there's only one person helping you. I am. There's only one person helping you in your experiences. I am. That's it. If you think it's your husband, if you think it's your wife, if you think it is not. That is what your I am awareness is using to get you what it believes it is. I'm rich, okay, because everything that you have, I am made, and every physical person that I am uses is I am itself. So it's only going to another aspect of itself to grant you the physical reflection of you. Oh, Leanne believes she's rich. The lottery will do it. Oh, no. 20 more clients will do it. I am owns everything and is everything. Only against you, Father, have I sinned. Only against your own awareness have you made the mistake by considering or contemplating that you think you're something else. Only you are messing this up. Because you have all these other gods that you believe in, your degree, your cousin, all the other aforementioned things. You believe all of these have the same ability to save you, like the God you pray to. But if you believe that, then what do you think? You're having a conversation with them? No, what you're doing is praying to them. That's why you get so salty and bent out of shape when you go to them and they ain't got it. Or you think they should have it, or they don't give it to you. That's why you get all bent out of shape. That's why you chase everyone, because you believe that if you get them, they'll make you something that you aren't without them. That's why you want them so bad. That's why you want those things so bad, because you believe those things are going to make you something that you aren't without it, or those people are going to make you something that you aren't without them. But if you would learn who you are, you would give it to yourself and be like, whatever I'm chasing them to get, I already have. Whatever I'm chasing them to feel, I already am. All I have to do is start identifying myself as having that or already being that. So the love that I'm chasing this person because I want them to love me, I'm not going to give myself that love because God is love. I am love. All it is an expression of your own self. So when you start identifying yourself as who you really are, you already are love. So if you already are love, then that means you are loved and loving. So I don't need to chase you now. So now you'd be surprised how many things you don't want because you've already given yourself that. You'd be surprised how the things you want, the people you wanted, the things you wanted don't always remain the same. When you already have the outcome of those things yourself, when you've already given them to yourself. And when you've given them to yourself, that means you already are them. And when you already are them, they all come to you. The things you're chasing is because you aren't. They all come to you when you are. When you know I am an influencer, what do you think Jesus was? An influencer, genius. That's what Jesus was, an influencer. Can you imagine how many subscribers Jesus would have? Yeah, that's an influencer. That's what an influencer is. Somebody who makes an impact. Somebody who sets a standard that everyone starts to aspire to. Wow, they drink Sprite, I'm gonna drink Sprite. Wow, they drive Mercedes, I'm gonna drive Mercedes. I'm gonna drive a Mercedes. That's what an influencer is. They get you to do something, to aspire to something, to be inspired to do something that otherwise you may not have. That's what Jesus is. I came that you may have life and life more abundantly. That's an influencer. And what does it say? Let that same might in Christ be also in you. So what do you think you are by nature? An influencer, genius. You're supposed to have an impact. Your light is supposed to shine before the world that men may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. What are you? The salt of the earth, the candle lights of the whole house, and the house on the hill that cannot be hid. Damn, I'm cracking today. Damn, I'm just on fire. Maybe because I'm sitting down, I get more energy or something. I don't know, but I'm on flight. I'm on fleek and on flight today. So listen to me good. You are an influencer. You are the way, the truth, and the life. Everybody should be able to look at you. You don't have to be running your mouth. Everybody should be able to look at you and be like, I don't know what it is or why it is, but it's something. It's something. You are something. That's the truth. You are something. You are the greatest thing that ever happened. Your uniqueness is the greatest thing that ever happened. There is nothing like you. And so therefore, there is no one like you. Right? No one like you. Therefore, no one can do what you do the way you do it. Therefore, there is no such thing as market saturation. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is not something that is true for the mind that knows how to think. Now, it's true for all the minds that don't. Yeah, because you're all mid. And you guys are all just act alike. So if I don't get it from Leanne, I can get it from Veronica. What's the difference? But if I don't get it from Leanne, I'm like, damn, if I don't go there, then well, Veronica and Leanne aren't the same, so I gotta wait for Leanne then. I gotta do something else. I gotta wait. I'm not gonna get the same thing because they're two different people. But you're the same person when you're not you. You got everybody who's giving up their identity to be what everybody else agrees with. So everybody else agrees that this is all good and nobody in there is happy. Fool, you got to be you. You are unique. You are the best. You are the greatest. There is no other. I am was not insane when it made you. When you made yourself, you were not insane. So to abandon who you are is insanity, which means you're not thinking as I am. You're thinking as Leanne or as Veronica or as Monique. You're thinking as Auntie Shaky. You're not thinking as I am being Auntie Shaky. You're not saying I and Auntie Shaky are one. I only do what I see the Father do. Period. No weapon formed against your problem. No harm shall come nigh my dwelling. No man takes my life. I have the power to lay it down and take it up again. Humanity can't do anything to God. Whether you call that a disease, a bullet, whether you call it COVID, recession, depression, whether you want to call it whatever, they can't. That's not true. I am existed before the world was. I am created heaven and earth. You existed before that. Period. Right? So we went over all those things. We said the centurion, hey, this is the way I want it done. The lady with the blood said this is the way I want it done. We read all those stories. What is the word? Still haven't told me the word yet. What word is that? What were they exercising? What did they do? What was that?
Authority.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Realization.
Okay. Mindset. Somebody made a decision. Finally, somebody made up their mind. That's what a mindset is. It's the things that you've made up your mind about. They don't have to be good or bad, right or wrong. They're just things that you made up your mind about. That this is the way it is for me. I'll never get paid. I never get this. I never get a great relationship. I'm never chosen. I'm never picked. He never likes me. He never supports me. She never sees me. She doesn't think on this. Oh, my kids this. Oh, that's your mindset. That's a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you are ruminating on, that you are recycling, that create, control, and dictate what you call your humanity or your reality or your physical experience. All those things, your physical world is nothing but a reflection of your internal conversation. As within, so without. So whatever's without came after what's within. So everything you see out there is because of what's happening in here. What's in here is projecting it out. There is no out there, meaning there is no thing out there that is independent of what's in here. It's interdependent. This is the effect. This is the cause. So until you're willing to change what's in here, you can't change what's out there. But you're still out there hammering away. You're still out there trying to get people to do this, change people, fix people, this or that. But you won't change yourself. You won't change the projector. You won't change what's projecting. That's why it won't change. No matter how long you go at it, how hard you go, that is what mindset is. Somebody decided this is the way it's going to be. All of us talk about mindset and don't even know what it is. That's why it's nauseating when people talk about it. Oh, you got to have a good mindset. You got to have a mindset. You got to. It just makes me ill. No. It's not. This is not motivation. This is not positive thinking. Your mindset is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you're using to change, create, and control your physical experience. Those are the things that you're using to project out. This is what I think and feel and believe about myself. So, as a myself, I have a relationship with a thing called relationships. I have a relationship with that state called relationships. So based on who I think I am, my relationship to relationships is I'm never chosen. I'm never picked. They always cheat. They always lie. I can't keep anybody. People don't think I'm this. People don't think I'm that. That is your own concept of self that is now married to this state of relationships. So now there's a physical thing that comes in to show you what that is. So he or she acts just like that. And you think they have free will. You think that they're just doing it. But then it wouldn't be true then if it's according to your faith be it unto you. You're not then the creator of your own reality. It can't be both. He never listens to me. Oh, she doesn't appreciate me. Oh, she doesn't respect me. Oh, what? If this is too much for you, if it's too much for you to remember who you are, you can always go back to Egypt. I mean, they're always willing to take you back. Debt is always willing to take you back. High blood pressure is always willing to take you back. All the things you don't, they're always waiting on you. Come on back. There ain't no hate or shame. They'll be glad to have you back. You have to choose who you're going to serve. Are you going to serve the all caps LORD, the capital GOD, or the lowercase God, or the lowercase GODS, meaning everything and everyone outside of you? You have to figure that out. You have to figure out which one you're going to. You can't do both. You can do both, but you can't do them at the same time. You have to figure out which one you're going to do. A double-minded going back and forth, you get nothing. You're lukewarm, you just spit out. You're homeless. You're just wandering around in the wilderness like children of Egypt, of Israel, until they got themselves together. You'll wander around, you'll be homeless. Mindset. They made a decision. If I touch the hem of his garment, this is going to happen to me. If I go and say, just tell me my servant will be healed, this is what's going to happen. You got to know who you are. She found out who she was after being sick so long. She said, forget it. This is just going to have to happen because waiting on all these physicians to heal me, I not only did that not work, I spent all my money and I'm worse off. So dealing with the lower GODS is not going to work. I got to go to the capital, all caps LORD, the capital GOD, the all caps GOD. You got to go to, they made a decision. They made a decision before they got to Jesus. They made a decision. So they're literally being Jesus themselves. Let that mind that's in Christ be also in you. That's literally who you are. You have to make choices as I am, not as this persona and character that you're playing, that thinks it's small, that thinks this can happen, or this can't happen, or this can't happen, or this can't, or they told me no, so I guess I can't happen, or they still look like this. Well, they're not really changing, or they're not, no, they're not changing because you're not changing. You wouldn't say they're not changing if you had changed, because you know it's not dependent on them, it's dependent on you, because you're the projection. You're the projector. Consciousness shines on light, on awareness, and produces a picture. Can't change the movie by changing the screen. You got to change the film, right? You got to change the channel. But we're unwilling to do that. We wait around because we have all these other options. We have all these other guys. Well, you know, if I just go back to school, you know, if I work overtime, well, you know what, if I give her extra flowers, you know what, if I do this, okay. While you still consider yourself the opposite of what you're trying to do all that for. So I'm doing all this to get this outcome, but I don't consider that outcome real, possible. I'm not willing to consider myself that. So I am going to consider myself not that while I work for that. What do you think that work is doing? You're only working as you are. Your work doesn't change anything. It is only in servitude to your awareness. Your physical world doesn't make anything. It only assembles the idea. That's why she could not get out of that house until she grasped the idea, until she started to assume that she is that thing, that she is what she wanted to be in the end. She was going to wait forever. That lady with the blood is going to wait forever. That person's going to be dead or paralyzed forever until you come to Jesus, till you come to that, to your awareness of being, of who you are, and say, I'm this now. You touch the hem of that garment, meaning you now become aware of being that thing. You touch that state of mind that Jesus represents. All things, power, possibility, whatever you say. You touch that awareness, that thing, as Jesus, as I'm aware that whatever I say goes, this is how this is now. Immediately the blood stopped. Immediately the person was made alive. Immediately. Things happen now, right now. They only take long because you take long. Things don't take time, they take you. But if this is too much for you, if this is something that you need to think about for a couple of days, you go right ahead and do that. I don't care what you do. Because I don't care what you want, I just want you to have it. This is never about anyone but you. This is all about you. Everything I say is like a mirror to get you to look at yourself and say, what did I think about what he said? What did that make me think about me? I don't care what you think about what I think. I only care about how it makes you think so that you can look at yourself, because only you can save you. Christ is in you. The hope of glory is in you. The power and the wisdom of awareness is in you as Christ. That's in you right now, today, present. I'm nearer to you than even your breath. I never leave you nor forsake you. Greater is that power and wisdom in you than anything outside of you. And yet you out here using discounts and coupons and little layaway plans when you got it all within you right now. All it takes is your awareness to identify yourself as it. She could have never found that person who wanted to move in the same day and was perfect and met all the requirements and everything that it read. Never could have found that on her own. Soon as she decided she was something else, right? I am, that's in all, above all, and through all, said, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, this is the version. Yeah, this is me. Yeah, come on in. Let's move on in. Same day. Now she's calling me from the next day, calling me from the place she wanted to be. All it took was a day. Because it was immediate. As soon as you tell yourself something, you're that right now. It's not that you're not that, it's that you fail to stick with it because you don't see it. But those are the gods you're serving. You're serving the God of sight. How are you going to serve sight and you made sight? That's just math. Man, I'm telling you. So, now, if you guys want to give some offering today, because I'm really out here, I'm on today. Right? But that's it's all you. It's all waiting for you. All right. So I've had enough today. Last thing, picture slide, please. I went back into the archives to pull something up that crossed my mind. So some of you have seen this, some of you have not. But the ones who have, keep your mouth closed. The ones who have not, want to show you something. But even the ones who have, it'll be wonderful because we get to see something. All right, wonderful picture. For those of you who are seeing this for the first time, something wonderful and very interesting about this picture. So for those of you who have seen this the first time, what do you think is wonderful and amazing? I know you don't know, but it's good that you don't know. It's perfect. Something wonderful and amazing. There's something wonderful and amazing about this picture. For those of you who have never seen it, what is that? What do you think that is?
Home.
Beach. Okay, and what did you say? Somebody else said something?
I think it represents home to someone.
Okay. Who else?
What someone created. It's a creation brought to life. So they created what they thought were probably was their piece.
Okay. One more person.
That's what I
Paradise.
was thinking. Yeah. What someone painted something that looked like paradise to them.
Perfect. Looks like, and now you use it looked like paradise. Now that's a great way to say it. It looked like paradise. Do you know what's interesting about this picture? You said it looked like paradise. You know what's interesting about this picture? The person who painted it has no arms. No arms. No arms. Now, for those of us who've never seen it, would you have ever thought that?
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Does it look deficient in any way?
Not at all.
Not at all. But would you have ever thought that they had no arms?
No.
Did you assume that they did?
Yes.
So how many things do you assume have to be a certain way that don't? They tell you it's got to be like this. But how? You just looked at this picture. It didn't look weird. It didn't look like there were special needs attached to it. It didn't look like there was any type of like, okay, well maybe, well that's good, well yay. Didn't look like any of that, did it? Did anybody look at the picture and be like, oh well, yeah, did it look like a stick figure? Did it look like something a 3-year-old did? It didn't look deficient. It didn't look like it was some kind of, it looked like a real picture, right? It looked like paradise with somebody who had no arms. So what does that mean? So what does that mean?
Things aren't always what they seem in order to be what you want them to be. It's not necessarily what it seems.
Okay. Who else?
You can create whatever you want. There are no limitations.
Okay.
We have no idea how.
Anybody else? This person created this with no arms.
Yeah, but he has the person has no limits. I don't know. I'm not surprised because art comes from they created what they wanted with no limitations, and that was it. Like whatever they put their mind to, like you said, they made it as flesh. They put the thoughts in their head and they made it to flesh. They manifest this.
So then, what does art have to do with it?
We just identify it as art.
Well, but what does art have to do with it? What's this? What does art have to do with anything or everything?
As the creator, it's all in your mind.
It doesn't matter whether it's art. Doesn't matter whether it is business. Doesn't matter whether it's health. There are no limitations. What does it say? With God, all things are possible. With your awareness, all things are possible. All things are possible to him who believes. All things are possible because God and man are one. There is no humanity without God because the body without the breath of life is what? Nothing. So I am and your humanity are one. And I am is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. It has all the know-how and all the abilities. It's not limited by humanity or what humanity likes to limit itself by. I am is not limited by that. But I am is limited by humanity in this, like, let's say this way. Your car is not limited, but it's limited by the way you drive it. Your awareness is not limited by anything. But free will means that in your humanity, in order to make this experience feel real to you, then you have given yourself the ability to say yes or no to yourself. For whatever reason and under any conditions that you decide to say that, but that is what people call free will. It's not behavioral, it's mental. It's expressed in behavior, but it is mental. So your awareness, if you want to be a painter, your awareness is not limited by whether you have arms or feet. Not limited by anything. It'll paint with your mouth, your head, your eyebrows, whatever it takes to express itself. Expression is involuntary. Awareness is voluntary, meaning what you're aware of being, that's where you get to pick. The expression is automatic. So you're always expressing something. You just get to choose what that is, but you don't get to choose that you do. You're not limited. Your awareness is not limited by your physical humanity. Because your awareness exists, it's within it, but your awareness exists without that, outside of that. I am existed before heavens and the earth were created. And part of that was the body. I am exists independent of that in that sense. It's not limited by physical things. It's not limited by what it created. It existed before it created. It doesn't need anything it created to be it. You don't need anything you created to be you. Everything you created is for you to express yourself. It's only a tool to express yourself. Your body's only a tool to express yourself. What you're aware of being. Anxiety is only a tool to express what you're aware of being. You don't have anxiety, you're using it. I am don't have that, but it's using it. So you can be like, oh, I have a pen in my hand, but I don't have it. Like it's not in my body, I don't have it, but I'm using it to express myself. You're using it to express yourself as you are. You use sickness to express, you use sickness physically to express the sickness going on in your mind. The dis-ease going on in your mind becomes disease in your body. You don't have it. You're just using it you're using your physical body to express yourself, what you are believing yourself to be in your mind. You're not these things, you just have them. You're just using them. As far as like you're just using them as tools. I have this in my hand, but I'm not it. You are not limited to express yourself in any way that you are aware or that you are willing to identify yourself as here. Whatever you're willing to tell yourself here, you can use any physical thing starting from your body all the way out to express it. You don't need hands, you don't need arms, you don't need a business partner, you don't need this or that. You need what you think you need according to who you are aware of being. If you're an artist, you're going to paint. Or whatever it is, however you're going to express your art, you're going to do that. You have no choice. Because it's coming out of it, as within, so without. You are always going to express who you are. What to say? What to say? As a man thinketh, right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's the same thing. Whatever you believe in yourself to be, that's what you are. You don't need hands to paint. You don't need this to do that or this. If you are aware of being something, you will naturally express that. Your awareness finds a way to do it. because that's who it's being. God always has to be God. God is always God. That's you. You always have to be whoever you believe yourself to be. There's no choice. There's no one else to be it for you, and that's all you are is I am. All you are is being. You're always being. But we're thinking, just imagine if somebody said, oh, you don't have any arms, you can't be a painter, and never introduced painting to this woman. Her older sister, she was in a South American country. And basically, she was in a South American country. What I say, when you're in these other countries, all this play nice and all this, everybody gets a chance, doesn't work because most other countries don't have the resources. So everything is a lot more brass tacks, let's say it that way. So she was in there with this young lady at the time was 9 or 10, up in the school with no arms. They made fun of her relentlessly. So she stayed home, and her older sister brought her a painting set, and she started painting. Her older sister got kidnapped, and they've never found her again. And now this lady was older. Now she's an adult, and this picture is hanging up in a museum. I think it was in Maine or Rhode Island, somewhere. And she was over here and got asylum and was over here, and this painting was up in a museum. You will find a way. I am will always find a way to express itself. So all you have to do is choose what you want to express. Who am I? Who am I going to attach to I am? I am what? You're always going to attach something to it. What is it? Whatever that is, that's what you're going to express. All right, that's enough for me today. Questions, comments? But choose. I told you.
Sparkle Bailey.
Okay, Coach, first of all, thank you, because you did go off like all the greasy lip comments and all the extra, shots and all of that. Like, that was crazy. But the message resonated very clearly. Thank you for that. My question is, excuse me. First, I want to give a report. Before I ask my question, I want to give a report. This week was Gavin's birthday. He turned 17 on Thursday. We're celebrating his birthday today. Last night we went to an event. It was a sports event where it was Rice University. There was an event for Black families to get more information, tap into the resources within the city. And it was a great event. And he asked me before we left, he asked if we could go drive by the baseball field. I told him yes. I was extremely tired, but I said, you know what? I'll do that, no problem. So we drive by the baseball field. He sees the lights are on. There's a game happening. And he's hinting, he's not asking, but he's hinting if we can stay for the game. And I'm thinking of all the reasons why we need to just leave and go home. And I end up saying, you know what? Don't give me any problems next week. Take your behind in there to this game. He's like, all right, cool. So he's happy and all this, that. And he sees one of his friends that's playing on the team. He's the only African-American player on the team. And he sees him, and the young man sees Gavin, and the young man is just happy to see another brown person in the stands because there were no brown people in the stands. And so after the game is over, he and Gavin see each other, they hug, they reunite, and I end up seeing his family is there. So I meet his family. His family was this wonderful couple, mom and dad, and we connected and all that good stuff. The young man decided that there was a bat that was gifted to him that he no longer needed. And so he gave Gavin this bat. It's a very expensive bat. If you play baseball, you know bats are very, very costly. The good ones are very, very expensive. So it's like a $400 bat. He comes out of the dugout and he's like, Gavin, this is for you. Happy birthday. Gavin wanted this bat for the longest. He wanted this bat for the longest. And the young man didn't have to pay for the bat. His parents, Gavin's dad and I, we didn't have to pay for the bat. Gavin received his bat. He saw this bat in his possession for a long time. And he received the bat without having to pay for the bat. And so I understand the power of being something or seeing something in your mind first before you get it, and not doubting that thing is already yours. And it was an honor to be able to see my son operate in that space as well and receive what he wanted. But my question for you, and I think I've asked you this before, but please just repeat the answer if you will. The way you studied the Bible, the way you have studied the Bible, growing up, we learned the Bible in a way more strict manner, in a more, no, God is external. All these things you have to beg, you have to suffer. That's a part of God showing you he loves you. How did you learn all this the way you learned? Because you are the reason. Maybe it was something in me that wanted to turn back to the Bible, but I just refused to do it. But coming to this community was the reason why I picked up the Bible again and decided, you know what, I'm going to give the Bible another chance, because the way you explain the Bible is completely against the religious, air quote, religious norm that was taught to us, that we're supposed to suffer, we're supposed to beg God for everything, we're supposed to go through the valleys and all this, that, and the third. But the way you break down these scriptures, it doesn't feel like I'm in church. So how did you transition from the way the Bible was taught to us to the understanding that you have today? How did you do that?
I started off, fortunately for me, my mom took me to a very good church. It was connotatively religious, connotatively religious, and stuff like that. But I went to a very good church when I was young. So it did give me some really good, solid foundations about things. A lot of things I still believe to be true a little differently, but some of it is because I've matured as well. So I have a better understanding of what someone was saying. But I felt like one thing I got from where I was that the person I was listening to, that my mom took us around when we went to church, I felt like lived what they said they lived. And so I would say I got a good example more than anything, more of an understanding of everything. I could just see a good example of somebody who was what they said they were. And I think I had such a healthy respect for that to me was its own form of religion, I guess. Just somebody who I felt like really embodied what they said. So that was really good. But when I started on my own journey to figure out who I was and just figure out how to live life better the way I hoped and wished and wanted it to be, I learned a lot of things just doing research online. I found Neville Goddard. I found Dr. Joseph Murphy. I found Rev Ike. I found so many things that you can find online, but I was just seeking the truth. And so my awareness led me to the truth of what this really said, or what it really means, or that's what it is when you, that's the point of today, right? Is when you realize that you are everything, you start asking your own self questions that you would ask other people. You start searching, you start asking yourself, because you start realizing that your awareness is everything. So that person you're looking at outside is I am. So when you ask yourself, it's almost like asking that person, but you're asking yourself because it will ask the right version of itself. It may not be that physical person that you think it is. They may not have the money you think, or they may not have the answer you think. So when you ask yourself, you really get led to the right outcome for you. And so part of that right outcome for me was really learning from people who reading videos and all the other stuff that I send out to everyone that I know, reading and videos, things that just were all the right things given to me to help me get a better understanding of what not only was said, but what it was meant in ways that I could understand, because we're all different. So it's important that we get information in ways that we can understand, so that we can all apply the same truth, but make sure that we're all understanding it in a way that we can apply it. So our own journeys, for lack of better words, are different. So when we're seeking truth, we are always going to be led to the avenues that are the truth, but the avenues that allow us to really hear it and receive it because of where we're directed, right? Everybody hits us different. We hear from people differently. So that is how it went for me.
I think it's just a permission that you give yourself. I didn't know for a long time that I could give myself the permission to understand the word the way that I understand it now. For the longest, the fear that was instilled into me and my peers, and the leaders who taught us that way, the fear was instilled into them as well. You have to go through, you have to, humble yourself from struggle. And so that mentality didn't make me believe that I had the authority to learn the Bible from a more accountable perspective. So again, even though we have Neville and we have all the other gems, people you send out to us, this community is unique in itself, and I always have to give flowers, because every week you give us pretty much the same information, but you give it to us in a way that it feels like it's brand new. And it's just like a reminder, a healthy reminder, you really are controlling this whole situation. You don't have to go beg anybody or any spirit or anything. Like, everything is inside of you. So again, every week, thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, Erica.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to have my hand up.
Oh.
Okay, Auntie Shaky.
Ooh, that's great, because I had to get this in because I got to go. But Coach Lucky, I am so glad that when I got to run a show and it was in the afternoon, I said, nope, I got to watch this. And when I say you were in rare form, sir. It was so good. It was so good. Um, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was so good. It definitely gave me what I need this morning to hit that stage and be everything that I am.
Go. There you go. There you go. That's it.
Let's go.
That's
Whoop,
it.
whoop.
That's it. Yes, there it is. Well said. Well said. Anyone else? Questions, comments, anything else?
I want to say thank you again. Even though I was on vacation and I was having the time of my life, I was like, I can't wait to get back to Coach Lucky in the group. I got to get my head back in the game. So I was a little sleepy at first, but I'm like, I'm back. I'm back. This is great. Really good today. I took a whole bunch of pages of notes, like always.
Wonderful.
Because, yeah, like Sparkle Bailey said, I think it was Sparkle Bailey. It's like the same thing, but you say it in such different ways that it feels different every time. But the root message is always the same. And the way that we get to it is so interesting every week. So thank you.
Wonderful. It's good to see you. Glad to have you back. All right. Okay. No other questions, comments? Veronica, anything you wanted to say? Or we
Look at that. We're getting out on time today. All right. So no, thank you everyone for coming. We really appreciate every single one of you. Saturdays are just the surface. So if you want to start your shift, we have the U Circle, 5 slots available for this cohort. So slide through. I put the link in the chat and have a wonderful weekend.
thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Saturday. Thank you for coming. See you.